We have Cris Olvera with us. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, all right, man. Glad you could make it, bro. Got to make it official.
Yeah, I know.
Got to make it official.
I just wanted to make sure it didn't look awkward.
Nah, it's all good, dude. It's all
Maya,
good.
did it look awkward? Yeah. Okay. Good.
On purpose. I don't know.
That's on brand if it's awkward, so it's completely fine.
That's cool, man. So a lot of us know you from your Yikes series on YouTube.
That would be cool if a lot of y'all knew me from there. That'd be really cool.
Nah, bro. Yeah, it was dope. I had seen it for the first time. I saw the whole thing.
Oh, you did?
The whole thing, bro.
Cool.
So and it's amazing to me how like it's spread out from different years. You know what I mean? So when you started like the first video, did you know you were gonna get to number 10 or?
It's funny. The show's actually was slated for eight episodes. Mm-hmm. We did the first episode and we were saying like, let's see if people want it, and then co-creators Ryan Monroy and Ricky Martinez, because those guys really just wanted to make something. I don't think they really cared what they were making. They just wanted to make something in a video format online. And then I'm the one that like really blew it up into becoming a whole narrative, like episodic series. Like I was like, well, like we have all this time. We're like, it's COVID. We're all doing nothing. Like, let's do something. Let's figure something out. And I kind of took the ball and kept running. And, but yeah, after like the first or second episode, I was like, I have an 8-episode idea. And they were all like, cool, let's do it.
Wow.
And I was like, let's do it. And they were all fully supportive, and Ryan like helped with edits and everything. And Ricky, really most of the actor, but he started editing towards the end. But, the reason it's 10 episodes, because the 8th episode was always planned to be like pretty long. We didn't know how long, but whenever it was written out, it was an hour and a half in the script.
Whoa.
Which is a feature film.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa. And we shot it as a feature film. We screened it as a feature film. But then when we realized that episode 7, which was an hour long, did not have a lot of good play on YouTube, like it took forever for it to get to 1,000
That was like
views.
one of my favorite. That's like one of my favorite episodes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no kidding.
But like it just took forever for people to watch it. So we were like, let's break it up into 3 parts for the last episode. And so that's how it became 10. But what's funny is that like those last 3 episodes have like the worst views out of all of our episodes. So it was like, did it even matter? Like, I don't even know. But
views,
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really care about views. It looks pretty, People are like, oh, cool, you have over blah, 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 XYZ.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, man, like how you can create from beginning to end. It takes so long to do. It takes a lot of work, you know what I mean? Obviously. And then I liked how you would show the credits at the end of the first one. You look at that one compared to the one at the end.
Yeah.
Tons of people.
Tons.
Like, it's so crazy. How did you feel when people started getting into the project?
It was awesome. It's literally the best feeling, because I feel like what our show was an experiment. It was really like everybody has their own project, but it legitimately felt like a science project for school, because we were like, let's try to do these things and try to combine these genres together, these characters, the comedy, the drama, the romance, all these different emotions. And whenever you have people that are your friends or, featured creators that are like, we love what you're doing, we want to help out, we want to buy you a boom, we want to, sponsor your lunch, we want to do these things, we're like, whoa, this is awesome, because this is exactly what a project should be. This is like us, this is our network now. And we're all willing to help each other. So that was the best part. It was really just meeting all these people, getting all their support.
Yeah.
That was really the main goal of the show to begin with.
Yeah, it's dope, man. I can't stop looking at your beard, bro. You got like the diamond shape right here.
Yeah?
Yeah, hell yeah. Looking good, man.
Dude, I just got it cut today. I just got it trimmed a little bit.
Hell yeah. So. Yeah, no, I was due for the mustache. I had to get that out of I can't stand it,
Yeah, I don't know. My barber does amazing.
Yeah.
He works at he's at the Super Cuts on Saratoga.
There you go.
Which I know you're saying it's Super Cuts. It's not a mom and pop place.
No.
This guy's amazing. This guy is incredible. Roger's the best. He keeps telling me to go to Outback. I don't know why. But anyways, it's not important at all. He's great.
So speaking of Outback, man, I wanted to invite you for dinner, man, on Saturday. You doing anything on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm graduating.
No, come on, bro.
Was that your lean into that?
It was.
Good job.
Appreciate it. No, yeah. So you're graduating from A&M.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And
Islanders. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Shaka's up.
Yeah, Shaka's up, bro. I got my Bachelor of Music from there. So.
Oh, awesome.
We're islanders, bro.
Sick, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you were telling me before that you went at it to pay for it on your way.
Yeah,
That was amazing. That's amazing, dude.
thank you. I went through Del Mar first, and then I graduated from there,
Uh,
and I got my associates so it could be cheaper before I went to
Oh,
the
that-
full position into Islander getting the bachelor's. But yeah, when I went to the island, I was like, oh, this is too much money. I got to do financial aid. I got to do all these things. I do all these grants. There was a point going to the island where I was struggling. Like I was literally living paycheck to paycheck because of how hard it was to just pay for tuition. And then actually my friend Johnny Hotcakes, John Garcia, the lawyer, he's the one that gave me advice on how to get grants. And then
Wow.
after that, it's been like incredible. Like
Amazing.
how many, grants are out there for students. It's just free money. And a lot of people think they can't afford school, but like there's
Yeah.
so many different avenues to help you with that.
Yeah. So, did you you were so okay? Why did you stray away from debt? I always talk about come to the money subject for some reason because I think it's important for our society, and I just wanted to maybe touch on that a little bit more. So, is there a reason why you decided to avoid the loans? Because we were saying like, well, go ahead and get student loans. You know what I mean? Just is there a reason why? Have you always?
Because people treat it like it's nothing and it's everything. Like, I mean, if you're gonna like, it's such a weird conversation, but like, I know that my family dealt with debt, over the years, and it's always something that like this resentful piece of information that felt like, they kind of avoided and or at least the conversation of it. But I would just hear about situations happening with family members having problems with paying back money and doing these type of things.
Wow.
So whenever I talked to my family about going to school, not to say that they were completely hands off, because I know my dad was definitely like, I'll help you out if you need it. But there was like other people in the family that were definitely like, we don't really want to pay for school anymore, you know? And I kind of realized like, I think I should just pay for this myself because I'd rather not make everybody, what if I don't finish school? What if I don't like school at all? And they had to throw away so much money. So I was like, I'm just going to put my money where my mouth is and I'm going to pay for it myself. And it was hard because I definitely like just going to Del Mar, like my first job out of high school, which I think is a lot of people's, is like working at Whataburger. Like it's like the Texas rite of passage to work at Whataburger, at least at one point. And the money sucked. So I was like, well, money's like really, everything sucks, huh? And everybody was like, yeah, like there's no better jobs in the city. Like this is what you got for your age. And I was like, all right. And luckily my friend Trent Schaefer, his dad was amazing. His dad was great. And he was really supportive. And he knew about my college situation and he offered to pay for my first year of school.
Your dad or
No, my friend's dad.
Wow.
My friend's dad really liked just how we talked, our conversations, and he was like, I'll help you pay for it. Like,
No way.
and he wrote the first 2 semesters checks.
Oh, amazing.
And I was like, thank you so much. And it really helped me get my foot off the ground to at least start saving money for the rest of the semesters. And yeah, I really would not have been able to go to school if it wasn't for him.
Amazing. Yeah, and we were talking earlier, like how can you give something to somebody where they can't give back to you at that point in time? And
Exactly.
that right there it's a blessing, bro. Because you couldn't have gave him that kind of money at that point in time in return.
No, and he was really supportive. Like he helped with a film once that I made. Like he actually let me use one of his old
Crazy.
trucks for this period piece film, and then I got the truck stranded on Harbor Bridge.
Oh shoot!
They had to close down traffic.
They closed it, bro?
Yeah, because like I was like gnawing. I was just going crazy on the gas or something. I didn't know it was that sensitive, and it just like stalled out on the Harbor Bridge. They had to have cops like barricade both sides of the bridge so there'd be no car crashes.
Oh shoot!
And it was just like insane. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, it's embarrassing.
It was so embarrassing. I was like, I love you and everything you've done for me. I thank you so much. And he was like, it's okay. I don't know if that truck's okay. He was so nice in ways that people have never really been that nice to me. At least like, financially.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I always ask him like, how can I pay you back? Like, I'll pay you back whenever. He's like, no, don't pay me back. Just
wow.
Just focus on school and stuff. And
yeah, that's amazing. We got the Pink Plantain on YouTube chat.
Wow. What are they saying?
They're saying Chris.
I don't know who I am anymore. Chris. I'm so drunk. I'm so drunk. Drake.
Yeah, I found out because I was joking with Dusty. I was telling him that I was the Pink Plantain, but I just recently watched Dusty Crates, and I found out who it actually was. And I was like, oh, cool. So I thought that was cool.
It was a pretty good build up.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. You
I'm
mentioned,
glad to see her return.
yeah, that's
Love to
awesome.
see her return. Yeah, the Pink Plantain.
Oh, it's a brand new channel, or she changed it.
It's like she should put a trademark logo at the end of it.
Right on. Yeah, you mentioned grants, man. So you have a grant, right? Did I see something on like that?
I created a grant. Actually, I was talking about that with Maya earlier. We created a grant for people between the age of 16 and 22, which I found to be one of the most difficult ages to like get support
Wow.
for filmmaking. At least in the city, you know, and I wanted to give really small, like $100 grants for people to at least have food on set.
Yeah.
Just for young filmmakers. That's what I wanted to really focus on. Weirdly enough, no one has submitted to it,
Wow.
which I was really hoping it would have
I don't
a better
think a lot of
turnout.
people know about it.
I don't think enough people know about it. I'm trying to find a way where we can plug it a little bit more.
I mean, people don't know about the grants like for college or nothing like that.
Exactly.
Like, how did you find out about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to have my friend tell me about it directly, and he told me like who to talk to and how to get it done. And
Yeah.
that was weird. I was like, I didn't know that all this existed for
Yeah.
so long. Like my life probably would have been 100 times easier if I had this many grants.
Yeah, and then you helped produce one of the shows a while back, and you were saying that you can like scare them into paying you, or what? Did
Bully
you,
them. You
bully
can
them.
bully them into it. I mean, you can just go over there and like tell them your story. Like tell if it's really that hard for you, it was pretty hard for me at the time. You can just let them know and kind of breathe down their necks. Like actually, this last grant that I received for school, like it was like a pretty good sum. It was going to be over like 1,500, and it was like 2 months before now,
Crazy.
and I had to pay that. And I was like, "Ah, dude, like I don't have that. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I went to go talk to somebody over the phone, and they were like, yeah, there's no grants available. It's too late in the semester. And then I went in and I talked to somebody, and it was like, yeah, it's too late in the semester. Like, why? And they asked me, like, why haven't you taken out loans or done anything like that? And I was like, I'm not
weird.
prepared to do that.
I don't like to borrow money.
Usually I just tell them, like, I'm not at the financial place to do that right now. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Crazy.
And I'm just straightforward with them, and usually they're pretty okay with it.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, you should like take the loans. Like, just take the loans. And they're like, we can't give you more money until you take the loans. And I was like,
crazy.
oh, okay. Well, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like a week after that, I got dean's list and I got the director's list for like communications majors. Like, I got like both of those, and they told me to go pick it up from an office, and I went to go pick it up on campus, and I went directly to a different financial advisor, and I was like, I have this. Does this change anything?
Oh, damn.
And they were like, well, let's see. And they looked, and like almost immediately she was like, there's a grant that can help you out. I was like, thank you so much. Like,
Wow.
I really can't afford to do all these, you know, to be in debt or to pay for school. So this grant's really going to help me.
Yeah.
And, you know I'm probably going to have to be dipping and probably getting some loans for grad school if I decide to go. I really just don't know yet. But grad school, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be so expensive. So,
especially in a different, like if you go to a different state that probably charges extra just cause, you know what I mean?
Yeah, out of state tuition is insane.
It's
but
crazy.
I mean, there's not a lot of industry. I mean, there's some industry in Texas for film for sure, like in Austin or Dallas or something. But I prefer to kind of get my feet wet somewhere else, or like LA or Georgia or even New York.
Yeah. Do you watch I think it's HBO Max at all?
Yeah.
They had this one TV show. Did you watch it about film or something like that?
Is it Project Greenlight?
No, it's they're actually talking about film, like what makes a movie, whatever, you know what I mean? It goes through comedy, it goes through love, it goes through hate, all kinds of. It's very interesting, huh?
I wonder what it is.
Yeah, it's about film, like it's about the making of film and stuff like that. I thought it was interesting, like for instance, like Romeo and Juliet, like a famous love story or whatever, and the guy's like, well, one of them ends up dying at the end, you know what I mean? And that's what makes it a good love story or memorable, because one of that one.
The Power. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I watched it too because I knew we were having an interview. I was like, let me watch this. Maybe try.
Is there like real directors on there?
There's a guy. He's a professor for like years from a California university or something like that. But he's been a professor for so many years, and he's basically teaching what he teaches there.
Howard Suber.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Howard Stuber.
Howard Suber. Good name. No, never heard of it, but I'll look into it for
Yeah,
sure.
no, it was cool. So, man, dude, how do you get into doing this, like doing film, or how did you originally start? You know, what piqued your interest, or
It was actually my friend Jacob, my friend Jacob Salazar, because we were really into SNL in
okay,
high school. We like loved SNL. We would like
yeah,
do bits and do impressions and do all these things in high school. And we talked about doing skits, and then we talked about making films. So we made like one short film together, and it was about like a dog, and it was for UIL. It didn't really get far, but I mean, it was fun to make, and it made me want to do it more. And yeah, ever since then, I always just wanted to keep making stuff. Like him and I talked about making a TV series back then, where it was called like Cris and Jacob versus the Block Party or something, and that was supposed to be like Hunger Games but with teenagers and rich kids, and like it was gonna be this like really gory thing, and it would have been really fun to make in high school to see. You know what I mean? That'd be so fun to watch what we would have done then, because we would have had to like make so many things, like make blood and like. It was really dumb.
it's like you have it's like for me as a musician, you have a band and you play like in front of, you know, your school. Like I understand where you're coming from. Kind of understand where you're coming from with that. And then like even on the Yikes, like the first film, bro, when they start, I think it was the first one where they do the Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I started laughing and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually laughing. What's going on here?
You're enjoying it.
Yes,
but I mean, it's
exactly.
cool 'cause it's handmade. I mean, you see the passion in it, like no matter what. Like,
Yes.
From our thing to a high schooler to an elementary school kid making claymation, it's like it's cool.
Yeah. And to be honest, man, like I don't know if it's because I'm a Corpus Christi person. When I approached it at first, I was like, it's just a Corpus filmmaker. What do they know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're from Corpus. That's honestly how. But then I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot because I'm trying not to be that way. You know what I mean? I'm trying to
it's
give it a
hard.
chance. You know?
We all live in our own bubble. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I actually got into. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I started looking at the actors. You guys are all Hispanic or Mexican or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of that in mainstream stuff that I usually see. So it was kind of relatable in that sense, you know? Is that something that you shoot for as a filmmaker?
I mean, that's our demographic. I mean, usually is like that's who we're surrounded by. Is so many, you know, or a giant pot of charo beans over here. Like,
No
we're
kidding,
all
bro.
just like we're all just a bunch of Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's some white folk around for sure, and definitely some black folk and everything, and a lot of different races around in the melting pot, which is Corpus. But at least around us, more directly, we're a lot of our Hispanic friends and a lot of the heritage and traditions here in town. So yeah, and you know, it's even funny because we like dip into a few things of like other aspects of like culture inside the show, but a majority of it really just is confined to having Hispanic actors and having that as well. Because you're right, it's just not everywhere. Like you don't see that a lot. I actually had like this friend of mine recently said like, you know, they were producing a film. And they were like, yeah, it's really cool because it's about Mexicans and they're not like gangbangers or whatever. You know, they're actually real people. And I was like, you know, I mean, I understand that, but there is films where we're not gangbangers. There is stories where we're not.
Yeah.
You know, these people, you just haven't seen them. I think that's also the truth. Like, I don't think like we're reinventing the wheel by casting all Hispanic people.
Crazy.
There's so many stories out of Mexico City, out of Spain, out of like Colombia, out of so many different Latin countries that show Hispanics in different lights that are not mainstream here, you know, but they exist, and it's like it's a shame that they are also underseen, in a way, you know. So to kind of add to that is fun. I mean, it's cool to have more representation, 100%. But like, I hope people know like these films exist, like. They're not what the American media has for us. You know, there's so much more out there. So
do you imagine that being a challenge to, I guess, get your name out there or your film out there?
I mean, quite possibly. I know there's like a professor of mine that he tried to like sell a lot of like Hispanic stories to Paramount or other studios, and I know he didn't have a great time working on that. So, I mean, I can imagine it being pretty hard, but there's still pockets, you know, like we're still a pretty big makeup of the American public. So, I mean, you know, the needs there. Bad Bunny's going crazy. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different people in entertainment that are Hispanic or Latin that there's no reason for us to not have our own, you know.
Yeah. And I don't want to necessarily say that we purposefully make it like that. It just is like that for us.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it's
know?
definitely not done on purpose, like
Yeah.
whatsoever. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like it's the culture that we live in, and this is just what we are, what we know. This is how we're doing it. You know what I mean? And some people may see it as like, oh, look at those Mexicans over there trying to be like this or whatever, or whatever. You know what I mean? Can
yeah.
get into that argument.
I mean, also that like, there's not a lot of Spanish speaking on our show at all.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there isn't like a
Yeah.
lot of. There's a lot of. I mean, we might use some verbiage or some. You know, we have a whole episode that's really about like Nacho Libre to some extent.
Yeah, that was
And that episode is funny because it's us kind of embracing like how radical the view of Mexicans are, you know, but it's kind of subtle. Like, we're not trying to like put in people's faces. There's like one reference of someone being
Yeah.
like, isn't that movie racist? And it's like, dude, shut up. Like, this is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, is it problematic? Sure. But it's also like, this is also one of the coolest interpretations of like the Mexican experience. Like, such a funny, dumb little movie.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we welcome that. I think we're also pretty easy on that humor.
I love the music that you use too, like through the series. A lot of it is like pop. I don't know if it's pop music, but it's just good. It's just cool
A lot
stuff.
of copyrighted music.
Yeah, no, yeah, and then even the producer back there, he's got some stuff in there too. Yeah,
Maya has the first song in the show.
seriously.
Yeah, he does.
Well, no way.
Yeah, the crib. So whenever we do that Cribs ripoff in the first episode,
Okay.
and they're walking through and giving a tour of their apartment, Maya did the song. I asked Maya, I was like, "Can you make like a fast beat for us?"
You made it on the fly, bro. Did he?
I made like 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And we listened to
shoot.
all of them, and I was like, "I'll do this one."
Oh, no way. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah. Maya is a very early contributor, and every single episode that came out, and Maya wasn't living in town, Maya was always like the first person to call me
Wow.
to be like, "That episode was great." Like, that was like, he
Bro,
always
that's
had like
awesome.
something to say about the episode. Like, always gave feedback, and it was crazy. So
Isn't that cool to have that kind of like support, like from your?
yeah, 100%. And I mean, I've known Maya since Delmar. That's how we met.
Wow.
Was having a class together, and you know, he'd work on our sets, and I've gotten him. I've gotten him a couple jobs. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always bring him to like every workplace with me. Like, when I worked at Alamo. got him-
What do you tell? Oh man, Maya, you look here. Let me help you out, bro.
Yeah,
Is that-
not even. I was just like, "Do you want to work here? Because I want to hang out with you more." So, take him there, and then he kept on popping up here, and then we got him a job in the shop, and it was just, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to my my ex bandmate, singer / drummer. One of my first jobs was with him, dude. We didn't get nothing.
I mean, half of Maya and I are working here. Well, luckily the job inside the bodega is so easy.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
it's like, we're just talking, and like,
Yeah.
that's all we do.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Like, I can't wait to be an old man and just be in a barbershop. Like, Maya will both be getting our what is it, Gen X haircuts or something. at
Yeah,
that
right
time.
on. How's it going, Francesca? Mama, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate you. My daughter, she always makes sure she's on there and that I say hi to her. Wow, that's awesome, man. So you started working here at Produce, right? I mean, you've been here for a while. I remember we were trying.
2021,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. Because of Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that Dusty and a lot of the Produce was getting involved in the film, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah. It's always been great to have them have their support and stuff. Yeah, because Carlos Ferreal, who owns Produce Barco and Gallery, he was our producer from day one, and he was friends with Ryan, the main actor and our main editor, producer. He was good friends with him, and he started letting us use his equipment. We had him as like a producer credit, and he was a big champion for the show. He was like, "Do the full show, like make the full series." Like,
They got the owner for Produce or Ryan?
Barco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was the one that was big on that. And then whenever we did episode 5, and we ended up using the space inside there before it was a bodega, before it was even a store. Like, we used that as the anime shop. That was a fake anime shop.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they weren't even open yet.
Wow.
They like just built it, I believe, and then he let us. He talked to Dusty. They let us use that.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, Dusty saw the episode. He really liked it, and it was really funny because it was a really weird point in my life whenever like Dusty and I started being friends and started working together. Because we had one meeting to talk about a show which has never been released that we shot, but it was about him like talking to producers and listening to their their sample picks
Wow.
from albums and him remixing it into a whole mix or something. It was a cool concept for a show. We just never got to finish it. And whenever we talked to, whenever I met him and we like set up that meeting, my mom passed away.
Oh,
Yeah, so I told him like, hey, let's reschedule this to like 2 weeks or something.
yeah.
And I came back and I was like, definitely not in the best mental state, but I was like, let's have this meeting. Let's talk about this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it and I told him about my mom and he was like, my mom died the same way, like sclerosis of the liver, you know? And like, I was like, whoa. I'm like, we connected a lot, you know what I mean? And like, it was cool because I mean, I kind of needed that at that time, you know? So ever since then, I've always been with Dusty and working with him, and he's been a great person to work under.
Yeah, that's
He's
what's
a,
up.
he's a role model.
Yeah, that's what's up. I can't remember which episode, but your character in there, like it kind of goes over his story, and then you posted on. Yeah,
Yeah, that was with my mom. Yeah, and because all of us kind of have a personal anecdote that's inside the show that's kind of real.
wow,
Like Ryan's whole story arc is extremely real of like his breakup and everything. Like,
wow.
you know, and Ricky as well told me something he'd like to cover in the show. I was like, cool, I'll fold it into the series, and
Crazy.
And then we folded his whole sequence and his whole thing with his love interest. And I didn't really want a love interest. I didn't want to carry any of those. And I mean, a lot of my relationships that I've had in the past, like, was already within the show, but through those characters. Like different moments that I've had were through those characters.
Wow, amazing.
But I just blended it with their stories, so I can kind of, in some way, I was hiding behind their stories to
Yeah.
kind of say what I wanted to say.
Oh, wow. See,
And then when it came to my thing, you know, I wanted to have some kind of central thing for my character, and but I never really got there yet in the writing process. I was like, man, I really want to figure something out, and I did want to talk about my mom because my mom and I always had a very conflicting relationship, and she passed away, and I was like, shit, I don't know if I should do that anymore. But then I realized that was kind of the only way I'd be able to like talk about her or talk about the subject.
wow.
So I did it, and then that was like really like one of the last things I was able to do to kind of be. And my mom actually she did love the show. She really liked the show. She really hated all the other things I made. She really liked Yikes, like strangely enough.
So y'all's relationship was kind of weird. I mean,
It was weird. Yeah, it was a strange relationship, you know. She her and my dad divorced, and whenever I was like in middle school, like 5th or 6th grade, and they weren't they were very unhealthy.
crazy.
Like all the kids were like ecstatic that they were divorcing. We are like, this is awesome, this is great, like life's gonna be so much easier. It really wasn't, but I mean, it was good that they weren't gonna hurt each other anymore or do anything. And
Oh,
whenever that got to be separated, you know, my mom would just drink, you know, on and off, and it was a hard life for her, you know. I don't think she got everything she wanted.
oh.
And it was a tough blow for her, like a divorce. And
Do you have brothers and sisters from the same mom and dad?
yeah, I have 2 brothers, one older, one younger. The older one is in Houston now. He's a lawyer for the DA.
Oh, wow.
And then my sister just had her 3rd baby. She's doing great. My younger brother's living with my dad. Yeah, they're great. They're also, I felt bad because I didn't include them inside the show.
Oh, wow.
But I also knew that if I included them, it would have been like so long of an episode to include all my family members and all of these people. And like, so I was like, I'm just going to really focus it on my mom and dad, like focus on that relationship, you know? So whenever I made that episode with the animation, I really wanted to be animated. I didn't want it to feel real. Like it was like me. I wanted to feel like we were seeing like just an animated version of me, and the world around it was real. Cause that's kind of how I think the character feels. Like I think my character feels that way inside the show. Like, he's always doing stupid shit, like all the fucking time. So I wanted to make sure the character felt like kind of out of the reality of the situation. Then at the end, we kind of like sew it back together. But yeah, like the actors, like Alex Chapa played my mom. She was great. She actually said that she related to a good part of that storyline, which I think made it easier. And the guy who played my dad, Marty McPies,
Oh,
with
okay.
his first film role.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had him on here?
No.
He'd be great to have on.
All right.
He's great.
Hell yeah.
He's great at talking. But yeah, he played my dad, and he's never really done that before, but he was great. He was awesome. But
Yeah.
they really helped make that experience very easy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't know that I needed that animation until I watched it in that. I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool to know this about that character, his background, which I don't know if it is, but it seemed like that to me, and at the same time too, it seemed like a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, like in our society, I mean, my parents were divorced. You know what I mean? My mom left my dad at a very young age. I was maybe 2 or 3 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it needed to be. It seemed for me, I was like, oh, that was pretty cool that they put that in there about his character. So that was awesome, man. And I'm pretty sure maybe more of your story will be in your future films. Do you have any future endeavors?
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. Well, at least I really appreciate what you said about the animated sequence because it meant a lot to me. It was like a lot to put out. And yeah, it was supposed to be completely related to that character. Like I really wanted him to have some kind of like darker backstory besides all the relationship stuff, kind of to ground the story, to be like, we have all these like stupid romantics inside the story, and then we have one person that's like kind of dealing with, you know, and I made it, and I definitely like put it up to 11 on like all the grief and stuff he was dealing with inside the show. So it was fun to see that become like materialized.
No, it was cool. It was placed in a good spot for me because like I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know that I needed that about that character up until that point.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, Ryan should. And I remember like thinking about it. I was like, Ryan should like yell at him. Oh, and then the audience is like, that wasn't nice. And then we see his entire trashing. Oh shoot! So they're all like, oh, he definitely shouldn't have yelled.
Yeah. It would have been more epic. Yeah.
Like, I think just explaining it to my girlfriend Andrea, and she like cried. She was like, why would you do this? And I was like, it's just so, it's kind of funny.
And the story behind the animating too is crazy.
Oh yeah, animating it was terrible. There's a small documentary that my friend Levi made about that episode, and how like the night before our first premiere, all the animation was set, and I somehow deleted all the animation.
Oh no!
So I had to delete it for the first. So that ending did not exist for the first screening.
Oh.
And it wasn't until our second screening at Alamo where we put on the animated ending. So it just kind of ended with the door closing and him telling him to like shut the fuck up, and then it just ended.
No.
And crazy. Oh, sorry. So
no, it's good.
Your question about future projects. Or are you saying about?
Hold on, we got a Pink Plantain. Can't believe he yelled at you in his bathroom.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The audience definitely was like that. They were definitely like. I can't do that seriously.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, no, future endeavors. I was thinking about the Alamo Draft House. Man, that's pretty cool to have your film.
Yeah, with stuff. Yeah, Robert Bettis and his wife Madi, I believe. Yeah, they're great. Mm-hmm. That's a great couple, and their film festival stuff is fantastic.
What, did they have one here in town, or?
Yeah, it's a film festival they do yearly called the South Texas Underground Film Festival.
Wow, dude!
And,
wow.
A lot of eccentric characters are there, and they always have some pretty interesting, cool films to show. Them and like Heidi Habda too with CC70, which is like the 7-day film competition.
Wow.
There is a lot of film popping up and around. Because awesome. I know you had Chris, right?
Yeah, Chris.
Chris here. Chris is great. And he had films there too.
Yeah, even just posting and then inviting you as a collaborator on the post on my Instagram saying that we're going to interview you. Several other people that have production companies too were like in the video. I was like, dang, look at all these people doing production in the city. It's amazing to me to see that's going on. And I know Maya back there was into it a lot too. So that's cool, man. Wow. We were talking about gear earlier, future endeavors. So you got are you planning on something after Yikes, or what are your final thoughts on Yikes?
Final thoughts on Yikes is that it was a great project to like bring together with the community. It definitely was a community project. Mm-hmm. I can't stress that enough, that we made it with and for the community. There's so many jokes in there that are only for Corpus Christi. There's so many references in there that are only made for people that live in certain areas of town. Like, there's so many little bits and we're really happy that people gave us the freedom and the work to do it. Like, we had so much free labor, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't get paid, they didn't get paid. People were just there to like be passionate and work on it. Yeah. What's good about that is that it creates a network. So whenever we have more projects in the future, hopefully we can get a budget and we can start paying these people that have been putting their time in.
Wow, amazing.
And what's good about Yikes is now we have 10 episodes to show people that we can make things
Mm.
and they're not going to look almost terrible. And we've learned from mistakes and we know what we're doing. And hopefully with that portfolio, it's going to help push us into like bigger projects.
Yeah, amazing. I was so thinking that you have a portfolio to show, because obviously you're passionate about this. You got your degree in it, and you obviously want to continue on in
Yeah.
it. So that's amazing. Yeah. So you mentioned networking. How do you find yourself? I was watching. What was I watching? People's Places Things. Y'all had like one episode.
Oh, one episode, Ricky and I and Andrea. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mention something on that, but what I was gonna say, you were talked to the one of the guys at the China market, China food market or something like that, but you were networking with him, right, or whatever, and something like. But that brought up the topic of networking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How important is that to you?
Huge part. Huge.
How did you learn that? Like,
The internet.
okay,
I think I was before I realized I feel like I was like training myself to do film before I even decided I wanted to make
wow,
film.
interesting.
Because I would have my friends like torrent so many movies for me. I wanted to watch like all these movies that were important.
Wow.
And I wanted to understand why they were popular. I was like, I like them, but what's the science of making a popular movie? Like this budget. And I was like, oh, it's the actors, it's the effects, it's this, it's that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just realizing like how they got this done and how this director that made a really small movie made a really big movie after. Like, how does that make sense?
Wow.
And it's the network that they were using.
Mm.
The spider web of conversation they kept on having with people that put them into making a small movie called, like, for example, like Safety Not Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
With Jake Johnson, I think like Aubrey Plaza or whatever. That guy's next movie, Jurassic World.
Ooh.
Big reboot, continuation of an important franchise. Like, how do you do that, you know? And it's the network, it's who you know. It's like those people that are who's watching you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of network is important. And I think whenever I go to like film festivals now, like that's my main thing is like I need to talk to people,
Wow.
get to know them. I want to be friends with them. And,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and genuinely, it's not like because I want to get something out of you. It really comes to the point where it's like, I want to know things. I want to understand
mm-hmm.
how, you know, we're more than likely in the same area. How are we going to be able to help each other?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to understand your craft. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, genuinely, like, I don't need you to help me get a 6-7 figure deal for a movie. I just want to know how you do your thing. And, yeah, there's a lot of festivals I've gone to just to talk to people and meet them. And I don't even care if I watch their movies. I just want to know who they are and
It's amazing.
how they did it. Because that's all it is. It's just an education, just learning.
Yeah, it's amazing how you learn that at a young age too. Cause like I was older, like I'm late to a lot of stuff, bro. I think it's just how my brain is, but it's amazing how a younger person can figure that out at a young age. And we had a conversation a while back too, like how, cause you're a millennial. Are you a millennial or Gen X?
No, what am I? My Gen Z.
Gen Z. Yeah, millennial, Gen Z, whatever. But how you guys get a bad rep, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're this or they're that. But no, you're obviously a hard worker and you're a young dude that knows stuff and you're trying to make it and get somewhere. You know what I mean? It kind of trumps that idea like, oh, they're good for nothing or whatever the opinions are. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think I definitely understand how people can get caught up with that and how we're kind of lazy. But this is the good thing. Whenever a new generation shows up, we don't matter anymore. So everybody's saying that about, is it Gen X after us?
I have no idea. Gen Z, I don't know. YZ, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm a millennial, so I really don't know.
But now everybody's saying that about the generation after us. You know what I mean? And it's going to keep going. So overall, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with our generation. There's a lot of hard workers, a lot of people trying to get stuff done. I think people are just a little too connected to the news and what they perceive as the outside force of workers and workmanship. And
yeah, right on. We got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got all kinds of social media or whatever out there. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, dude, real quick. So I was mentioning people, places, things because of your one of your comments. I'm not gonna take my kids to McDonald's play place anymore.
Oh yeah,
That was so crazy. Your story.
I will say this: it builds character. If anything, it builds character.
Oh my god,
It's a
bro.
necessary evil.
Well, that was a cool episode because Maya kept on changing the. It was a cool concept where you
Thank
change
you.
it.
Yeah, Maya and I came up with that kind of fast. I know Maya probably still wants to do another episode sometime soon, right?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I can probably get Ricky. We'll probably do it and ask Andre to come back, and we should get Roel in there too. I don't know if Roel would be good at improv.
Nice.
I think he would be.
Cool, man. Wow. So yeah, you're awesome, dude, man. I'm just hoping for the best for you, man. So what are some let me see, I had something. Favorite directors?
Oh.
You got any favorite directors or favorite films, filmmakers, anything along that line?
I love Spike Lee.
Okay.
I love Spike Lee. Like Malcolm X and
Oh wow.
I just saw Summer of Sam for the first time. Have you heard of that movie?
No.
It's about the son of Sam serial killer from
Wow.
Brooklyn, and he was killing people, and like he said that like Satan was asking him to kill people, and that it was like possessing dogs and telling him to do that. But what's cool about the movie is that it's fully in the perspective of all the people living in the city, not really the killer.
Wow.
It's all about them reacting to it and how they're starting to not trust each other because of the situation. But it's in this turning point of like American culture where like punk is becoming a big deal. Like the conservative values are slowly fading away. And like, you're just seeing people not being able to be ready for this change, as well as like not being able to trust each other.
Whoa.
More so, the movie's like 2 hours and a half, sort of long movie, but I watched it and it was awesome. Sorry. Anytime I have an opportunity to talk about that movie.
Nah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, no, that's
that
fine.
movie was so good.
Was Spike Lee in it? Was he young?
He was in it.
He was young?
He was not super young, like, because it was like 99 he made it, I believe. 96 or 99, something like that. A lot of comparisons to Boogie Nights. I don't know if you've ever seen Boogie Nights.
Once I seen it like once, maybe twice a while when it actually came out.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy movie.
Yeah, it's
to
a weird
watch.
movie.
Watch casually. I watch it quite casually. I just have to make sure I know. I think I watched it casually here once.
Are you
And
serious?
then Dusty came in. He was like, "Dude, there's like families coming in today." I'm like, "I'm so sorry. Like, didn't mean to show porn. I just want to see Philip Seymour Hoffman cry near a Firebird."
Philip C, bro.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite actors. Also Paul Thomas Anderson. I love Paul Thomas Anderson.
Which one's who? He's from the 90s era, or
Yeah, so he made Boogie Nights, and then he made like Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, okay.
There Will Be Blood, Licorice Pizza. More recently, I really like that movie. But
bro.
yeah, and I really like Brian De Palma, who made Scarface.
Okay.
And he made Phantom of the Paradise, Dress to Kill, Blowout. Blowout's one of my favorite movies.
Whoa.
And David Cronenberg. He does a lot of body gore.
Body gore.
Like, he like creates crazy, gory, bloody things. Like he's known for doing like the best like head explosion in a movie.
Oh, no kidding.
Where like they actually got a fake head on a dummy.
What
and
the
they
hell?
got like a 12-gauge shotgun and like shot it in the back just so you can see it explode. Like it's just crazy. Like all the effects and stuff. Like, but it's funny because I feel like none of these things really sound too much like like what you probably saw in Yikes. But it's my favorite stuff. It's crazy.
That's
like,
cool though, man. It's cool to hear about your inspirations, man. All that stuff you mentioned, I don't know none of that stuff, bro.
Yeah,
That's and I don't say that like the average movie person does. Like you have to be like in it.
You guys
to,
be
like,
kind of locked in.
Yeah.
Maybe in an unhealthy amount.
Okay.
But, and I have friends that support this horrible habit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I go to the movie theaters like it's church. You know what I mean? Like I have to
Oh,
go
no
once a
kidding,
week.
bro.
Like it's important.
So it doesn't matter who's in it or what. Just watch it. Just to
I
watch
mean,
it.
I mean, usually it's important to know who's in it, but I just
Okay.
need to be in a theater. You know, I mean, especially if they're re-showing something, like Big Lebowski or something. You know, I'm trying to think of a movie I saw in theaters. Oh, Bringing Out the Dead. That's a Martin Scorsese film.
Wow.
Did not critically wasn't taken very well. No one really talks about it either. But like they showed it in theaters a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I have to go see that in theaters.
Wow, so crazy, man.
And great use of Johnny Thunders in the soundtrack. Great soundtrack.
Yeah.
So
So when you first watch a film, do you watch it like to watch it, or do you like critique? Because I know, imagine you learned a lot of stuff in your schooling or whatever.
No.
No, not really. Okay.
I don't think school
like
really taught
me.
a
Yeah,
lot
I
about
got you.
that. No offense, not to say like I'm better than
No,
school.
hey,
or
no, I hear
anything,
you, bro.
but there wasn't a lot of school that made me go, huh? Like a lot of it was me being like, can't wait to finish this already.
Like, did you take like film classes or?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I took
okay.
production classes, and then I took like one movie criticism class.
Yeah, like theory.
Yeah, theory, film criticism, and stuff like that. I think the one at Del Mar was way better than the one on the island. I'm not gonna lie. That one, I just got a lot more out of. The film criticism on the island was really cool, but I think the only reason I say that is because I didn't know as much when I was at Del Mar.
Oh.
And Del Mar like opened up my mind, so I felt like by the time I got to the island, I was like, oh, I've seen a majority of these. And, like,
Okay.
but the professor was cool, and I think all their stuff was.
Yeah.
They brought in some really cool details about the history, like that stuff I was talking about of like the networking and films and understand. Like I'm a nerd for understanding. Like to know that, maybe this film bankrupted Hollywood and it made us fully like. There used to be a lot of original movies in like the 70s and 80s that were coming out. And the reason why is because they kept on making really huge gambles of spending way too much money on movies, and it ended up like killing studios completely.
Wow.
So by doing that, these other studios are like, we have to figure out what to do now. So they were like, let's spend less money and make more movies and see what audiences like.
Wow.
And we're almost getting to the turning point currently where that might happen again.
Wow.
Because they're spending way too much money on way too many movies.
They're doing that now?
Currently, yeah. Like, there's no reason to be spending like $200 million on films that don't feature an explosion.
So they weren't doing that, but now they're redoing it again?
It's almost like history's repeating itself at the moment. Like, there's a movie I love that just came out called Challengers. Loved it. It costs $50 million. No reason to spend that much money on that movie. I love that movie. I adored it. I'm happy it was $50 million, but genuinely, I would think from a business standpoint, I don't think there should be, I don't know why it would be that much money. And because of projects, not exactly like Challengers, but more of like the big Marvel films, that are making.
Because what they have like, was it CGI?
CGI, but actors are really expensive right now.
Okay.
That's really the main thing is like they're spending so much money on actors. Like I can't even imagine what some of those salaries are, but I feel like they're just giving so much money to certain people that it's kind of bringing so much down on the production. They're spending way too much.
Wow.
So they're gonna have to get smaller soon, or they're gonna bankrupt themselves.
So
unless they get lucky and get another Barbie, But not every movie's Barbie.
So it's not necessarily the more you pay, the better the film is gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's how it should work. But as of currently, it's just,
That's so weird.
Robert Downey Jr.'s in this movie. Boom. That's like 20 million already out or something.
Oh, damn.
I don't know how much he's getting paid, but he's getting paid a lot. Probably not 20 million, but.
Yeah.
But stuff like that I learned from like the island, and I was like, this is awesome.
Nice.
Okay, this is epic. Yeah, it was just like all these things that I kind of learned through the island or learned through Del Mar. Like it was cool because it feels like it helps the current strategy of how to make a movie.
Oh, right out. Wow. So speaking of making a movie, so how important is we're talking about gear earlier? How important is that for I guess what you're doing?
I mean, I used to not find it very important. I was like, make a movie on anything, but now that we're past yikes and stuff. It's like it's everything. Like you have to shoot on a certain camera, shoot on a certain use certain types of lighting that's popular right now. But luckily, we have a lot of friends that have supported us over the years, and they have a lot of that equipment. Like I shot more recently with a Red, and that's a pretty big state of the art camera that they use for like films on Netflix and stuff like that.
Wow,
that was my first time working with one of those.
Amazing.
It was a pretty big rig, it was like a big setup. Because
so how different was it from your previous, like is that
very
much different?
Very different. Okay. Because I mean, so with Yikes, like I even have my camera like here in the room, like it was like an XT4, and that one, it's like I can shine a light up to the ceiling and like raise it up the intensity. I can let that light bounce back off from the ceiling and hit you, and it's gonna look natural. You're gonna be like, wow, this is crazy, But bringing an RE cam, like RE Flex, anything. We need a Screm. We need a 650 Ari bulb. We're gonna need these really big cameras. We need like negatives. We need all these different. The more expensive the camera, the longer it's gonna take for you to set up. And that's the most. And right now, that's just people want. That's what they want to see. I mean, it's like I was telling you, every frame is a painting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's how important it has to be, like to get all the lighting and stuff. So equipment's a huge deal right now.
Wow. So I guess I guess as filmmaking evolves and the people that watch it, that's what they want to see. Is that why you continue to up your gear because of what the end user is gonna see?
Yeah, and also just talking to friends and stuff like that, seeing what they're doing and seeing how maybe ahead they can be in their fields, and it's like seeing what they're. I'm like, oh, that's standard.
Yeah,
that's standard. That's the network that helps you with that to know it's like it's a standard thing. You have to kind of rise to the occasion because it can be as good as you want it to be. They might not buy it on your XT4, on your Fuji, on your Canon. You might need to get a red or something. Yeah. Black Magics aren't bad. This camera is a Black Magic. That's a pretty good camera. It's not Netflix approved, but
Netflix approved.
Yeah, no, there's a whole list.
Are you serious?
Netflix has a chart of the cameras they approve that they will accept.
What do you mean? So what do you mean accept? Like you can submit your
you can submit your films, I believe, or you can like pitch it to them, or whenever they go to a festival, they're like, I like your movie. What is it shot on? It's like
no way.
And this, and they'll be like, I don't know if you have enough of a full frame lens that will be able to be streamed and not lose its quality.
Oh wow.
That's also a bigger thing. Like how many megapixels are able to be in your digital camera? We're not talking even film right now. Like we're not even talking the film strips because everyone's doing digital.
Nobody's doing film anymore.
Not really. I mean, I'd love to shoot on film. I think it'd be fantastic, but that's not what people are usually doing anymore.
Well, I mean, you have to edit and splice and all that other stuff too.
Yeah. I want to try this out someday, but have you know that movie Dune? Those films?
Yeah, I saw the first one, the newer one. I hadn't seen the old one.
Heard. Yeah, so the new one, great. They shot that on digital. They shot that completely on digital cameras. And then when they were done with the edit, they rescanned it onto film. And then they rescan that back into digital.
What?
Because people want that digital feel. They love how digital looks.
So why? I don't understand why they would put it on film first or put it on film and then go back.
Because they put it on digital, then they put it on film, and then they put it back on digital.
Why'd they put it on film in the first place? So they can go back to digital?
Because the look of film is very different. Like the way light projects through a film cell is different. Rather than your digital camera capturing it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's I mean, the difference, some people find it very stark. Some people don't find there to be a difference at all.
Wow.
I like how it looks. Just, it feels physical. It feels tangible. It's kind of like how people don't want DVDs anymore, but they want vinyl records. Like, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But like, you want a vinyl record because it's physical. Like you're holding it. You feel like you own it.
Yes.
You know? And that's how people want to feel about a film. So whenever they're watching a movie and it's like done on film, like it feels real. It feels like you're there with it. And sometimes a digital camera can't like break through that for certain filmmakers. But yeah, but shooting on digital is so much cheaper than shooting on film.
So Dune did that. They went film. They did recorded digitally, went to film, and then went back to digital. And you're saying that? I mean,
that's an interesting concept.
Okay, so it's a modern concept.
It's an extremely new concept. I don't really think it's been done before.
Wow.
But like that's how much people want to be involved, or like, you know, tech in general, like how many people are trying to cut corners to get to what they need. So tech is everything.
Wow, crazy. That's awesome, man. Man, with 53 minutes in,
I know,
bro.
that felt fast.
What's going on here? Awesome. I'm gonna see if I touched on everything I had. You have anything you want to share?
Not really. I mean, I have a film coming up pretty soon that we're going to be shooting. I'm still working on the script right now. But I have my producers are already in with it, and I already have some crew members signed on as well. Just got signed on, like they have contracts, but that are on board.
Hey, you got to use the terminology, bro.
Yeah, they're on board to make it with me, but we need to start finding cast. But that one's fun. It's going to be a short film. It's like, I think 14, 15 pages long.
Wow.
It's for festivals. And it's about a few friends that their friend gets assaulted by a police officer, and they have to figure out what to do with the video.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Not very fun.
What's something crazy that's happened on the set before?
Something crazy.
Something crazy or something that's like what was it?
It feels like
one of the worst things or one of the best things. Like,
one of the worst. Okay, one of the best / worst things that happened was in episode 7 when Ricky and Ryan are yelling at each other.
mm-hmm.
It was a scene where they were just finished yelling and they told me to get the fuck out, and I was like, okay, I just try to help. And I go out the doorway. The camera's following me. Police officers. Police officers are waiting for me outside.
Are you serious?
And they were like, we got a noise complaint.
Oh shoot!
And I was like, this is awesome.
This is the pinnacle right here.
I don't even think, I think I was going to the door and I heard like a cop knock and I was like, and they were like, hi, we've been hearing complaints. I was like, this is so hilarious. Let's cut the cameras. So sorry. We're filming something right now. Like, I had to like get us out of there, but
Like that one guy who's fixing his car and the parrot's inside, like pretending, and then the cops show up, and they heard like the parrot like saying like something to where like somebody's getting murdered or something in there,
Yeah.
or something like that.
like that's how it felt. People thought they were killing each other or something.
Oh,
And they were
wow.
just like yelling at each other, and which is crazy because I mean Maya lived at that apartment complex too, and there was way worse things that were happening at that complex constantly. So for them to come for us, we were like, really? Like this is cops are weird. That was so weird.
Oh my
But
god, you're here picking on us when there's a whole world out there. dude?
literally, yeah, I see like horrible things happen every day, like on the streets, and then they're just like, "What's going? These two bros can't handle each other. We got to call the cops. So we got to get there immediately."
Wow. Was the eviction pile a real thing?
Eviction pile was a real thing.
Wow.
That was the immediate thing that I was interested in whenever
Are
I
you
went to that
serious?
apartment complex. I saw the eviction pile and I was like, that's so messed up. I want to make a story about that. And I was
Wow.
like, and I mean, I think also that person that was evicted, they like left town. They like jumped town or something. So like
Crazy.
that was kind of like whatever was there was kind of already there. And I think that person was like on the run, or I really don't know. Maybe one day they'll watch Yikes and be like, my couch.
Were the lightsabers really in there?
No.
No.
That was
That'd be
just,
funny.
I always wanted, just like, that was just a Star Wars connection. And those are my niece and nephews, by the way.
Oh,
Two
okay.
kids. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my niece and nephew. And then they come back in episode 5.
Yeah.
And then I get to have my storyline with them, which is insane. You
Oh.
know what's funny? Actually, just a little story.
Yeah.
My brother introduced me to like a new girlfriend of his a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was like, hi, nice to meet you, Chris. Like, and she's like, yeah, well, just give me her name, whatever. She's like, I was like, how you doing? She's like, good. This is Christmas Day, by the way. And she's like, I'm just curious, why'd you film like a sex scene in front of your niece and nephew for your show Yikes? And I was like, whoa, I just met you. And I was like,
Oh, crazy.
well, first off, those things were shot on separate days. And it wasn't a sex scene. Like that didn't happen. Like nothing happened yet.
Yeah.
And I had to break down to her, like,
Crazy.
filmmaking doesn't like all happen in the same place. It's like you can film that on separate days. Like they're never in the same like lens of the camera. And she was like, okay, interesting. I was like, interesting. It's Christmas. I just met you. You've already judged me so much already. Like,
No happy holidays.
yeah,
Merry
no happy
Christmas,
holidays.
none of that
Not like
stuff?
I heard a lot about you. She's like, I've been judging you from afar, and I can't wait to finally
Holy
talk to
crap.
you and call you a weird ass.
Wow.
Oh wow! See, Pink Plantain was talking about marketing costs too, about movies.
Madam Web was made for 80 million?
Also, so she's saying marketing. A movie, if it's 80 million, for example, marketing is usually the same amount of the budget of the film.
Are you serious?
So it's 160.
So double? Damn.
And there's movies being made now for $500,000, $500 million.
So
So it's actually just $1 billion.
and so they don't even, so most of them I guess are not making that money back now. I mean, it's so crazy, bro.
Yeah, a good majority of them do not make their money back.
Oh man.
What's that movie just came out? Fall Guy? Yeah. Damn.
Wow. So you do pop-ups at Studio B. What's the deal there? What's the motivation behind that?
I just like making food.
Ooh,
But
hell
I
yeah.
keep it low key, or I try to keep it low key. But I also post about it, so I guess I don't keep it low key.
Yeah, you do.
I'm pretty bad at keeping it low key. I just like making food. I used to make it with my dad, so. But I'm flipping burgers. I just made some banh mi's.
Yeah.
the other day. I mean, I brought some to the studio today, and
Yeah.
people liked them. I'm grilling that up next time, and I'll be doing it for Maya's Base Haven show.
Oh, nice. And that's gonna be at Studio B. When is that?
Studio B, yeah. I don't know the date.
So it was formerly the NASA, right? Was it the NASA, and then it turned into Studio B? Yeah, I saw an article at Del Mar or something like that. Cool. So Basic Cable Productions is the name of your production company. Okay. What's the story behind that?
Basic Cable Productions was inspired by Conan O'Brien's show on TBS. Whenever he moved over to TBS, he called his new band the Basic Cable Band.
Oh.
And I did not know what to call my production company, so I called it the Basic Cable Productions.
Oh, nice.
And I never changed it.
Never changed
People
it.
always like it, and I've kind of grown out of the name already, but people really like it, so I keep it.
Are you gonna change? Are you gonna change it? You keep it like
I'd
that?
like to. I wanted to at some point. I'm too into it now. I'm too deep. I made
You're too deep.
hats.
You can't go back.
I can't go back now.
Right on, bro. That's awesome, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I told you I was gonna flip it and ask you questions.
Yeah, I was like waiting. I was like, what happened?
I'm so sorry for talking so much. It was a good conversation. Not
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
lie. I'm
So
sorry.
how'd you feel about where the podcast went? The episode went.
Today?
Yeah, just
I got deeper at times I didn't expect it to, so that was cool. I thought this was great. Felt like I was in therapy to some extent, not gonna lie. Just talked about a lot of stuff that was on my mind.
do you think it's helpful or not helpful, or what do you think?
Helpful.
Yeah,
Helpful.
that's cool.
Yeah, you did a great job keeping it going.
Yo, appreciate it, man. I always like to get feedback from people because people tell me like, "Oh, I like what you're doing." As far as it goes, I'm like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
Help me out here. Give me some feedback.
Yeah.
So that's cool to hear that, man. That's awesome. And then obviously, I asked a few people what to ask you,
Yeah.
which I hope they don't mind me asking you that stuff. So, Pink Plantain's holding it down in Twitch. Appreciate
Probably
you.
just Pink Plantain. Probably just ask Pink Plantain.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
She probably gave you a lot of good. Nothing too deep.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I was like, okay, she's probably gonna tell him that I asked or whatever. So.
She asked immediately.
Okay, he's good.
She was like, "What do you want me to? What should I tell him?" I was like, "I don't think he wants you to know that I don't think he wants me to know that he's asking you." But
it doesn't. If it happens. Like you can, like I tell my wife, like everything, and somebody tells me, "Oh no, tell your wife." Yeah, right. Are you serious?
But Pink Plantain's the best.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dare I say I love her.
Pink Plantain. What's this story behind that name? Plantain.
She loves plantains.
Plantain's
You know what's
like
funny? For people that don't know this, Pink Plantain's my girlfriend, Andrea Puyol, fantastic filmmaker.
Yeah.
She loves plantains. On our first date, I bought a bunch of plantains. I made a bouquet of plantains.
Oh, cool.
And I brought it to her as
Ooh.
flowers.
Dope, bro. That's what's up. Plantains. They're the little bananas or
Bigger bananas. And they're real starchy.
not HEB. Not HEB.
No, HEB should have them usually. At least
okay.
because we're so, South Texas, there's so much Mexicans and so many different Latinos from different areas. So
Seriously?
yeah. Colombia, El Salvador, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Cuba. Like, there's a lot of people.
Costa Rica. Yeah, hell yeah. It's awesome, bro. Yeah. Well, if there's nothing else. Is there anything else you'd like to share? I keep asking you that.
No, you're good. I'm good. I think this was fantastic. This was great, man.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for the show. How do we find you? Basic Cable Productions?
Yeah. Basic Cable Productions. Basic Cable Productions on Instagram, or you can follow me, Cris Internets, no H, CrisInternets, Cris Internets. I wish you had a ding sound so I can get that right. Cris Internets on Instagram. Just find me on Instagram. I'm much easier to talk to on Instagram, even though I don't have my notifications on. I'll still find a way to talk to you.
Yeah, right on. What's up, Chris and Facebook? Appreciate you joining, man. Another production company out there. And then check out Yikes on the Yikes series on YouTube. If you have not, check it out. You don't want to miss it. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of South Texas culture in there. If you can get past the corpus-itis of this is the corp, whatever. Just get past that and watch it. It's good. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for the next few shows. I got some people lined up. My schedule is full up until July, so one a week. We got some more people coming on here. But yeah, appreciate you guys for joining. Stay tuned for the next episodes. Y'all have a good one.